Welcome back. President Biden's executive order on artificial intelligence references responsible use of AI 26 times. More than half of those references are to certain actions agencies have to take by certain deadlines regarding responsible AI. Terry Halvorsen is Vice President for Federal Client Development at IBM. He's former Chief Information Officer at the Department of Defense. Terry, welcome. It's great to have you on the program again. Good to see you. What is the connection between what agencies have to do, particularly the Department of Defense, regarding fulfilling the terms of the executive order on AI and the mission that the department is on, especially regarding AI, to deliver capability to warfighters?
Yeah, Francis, first, good to see you again, and always a pleasure to be on the show. Always one of the better shows. We all watch it. This is a good question because in this time we've got a lot of alignment between the two. As we were talking before the show a little bit, today, if I want good AI answers, I better have good data going into the system. And no secret, data is a problem for a lot of commercial and federal agencies in getting the right data, getting your data accurate, and maybe more importantly today, having your data auditable. You want to know where that data came from, what were the original sources, and this is very well emphasized in the executive order. Responsible means, though, beyond the data, that I'm using AI to do some of the right things. You know, I really like that Pentagon, in fact, has put out additional guidance to support the executive order, and I thought they did a really good job with it, talking about everything from where do you keep a man in the loop. You know, there's a lot of discussion today about, well, AI could take over, maybe it's making decisions, particularly in the Pentagon, where we're talking about lethality could be part of that decision. They've been very strong about, we're going to keep the man in the loop on those lethality discussions. We're going to use the full process. You know, one of the things that we were able to do at IBM right before Christmas, we hosted 21 DoD leaders. And what we talked about together was, what are the right processes to do this out? IBM has been a strong supporter of processes in AI, making sure that the value of the data, the quality of the data, the audibility of the data was all in place before you move to your AI answer. And I think that's something that particularly DoD has done very well to embrace.
There are 5 components in the CDAO look at responsible AI. Responsible's 1, equitable, traceable, reliable, governable, and it sounds like those all come back, as I read through what the department has written and what your colleagues are writing, that all comes back to that idea of super clean, auditable data.
It does, and making sure that beyond the super clean, beyond the auditable, you know the purpose of what you're going to do with the data. I think a lot of what happens, and you and I have been around long enough to see this, you know, whatever the buzz is, let me go buy a box of AI, let me go buy a box of it. I think within AI, they started not doing that. You know, there's been a lot of complaints that maybe DoD and the federal government has been slow to roll out AI. I don't think so. I think they're really thinking hard. I think they're trying to follow the right processes to do that and make sure that the data is structured and being used in the right way. And they've written a lot about that. It's in their acquisition guidelines. It's in the mission guidelines. I'm very happy to see what DoD has done on that.
Yeah, one of the things that's striking to me is among those 5, the one that I think I've talked to the most people about, both in industry on the government side, is the governable piece. And to be able, so that each person can say, I know this is how we're using AI, and I know this is how we're using the results of what we get from it.
I would add to the word governable, and I think it's in a couple of things. Not only is it governable, but it's transparent. You've nailed it. They do understand what they're doing, what they're using it for, and to the extent within DoD they can be transparent and share everything, they're doing that across the board. The dialogues we've had with DoD, with industry, not just with IBM, but industry in general, has been very good. And here's the other thing I see that's to me is big. That's being applied in the allied way in our coalitions. I mean, Europe just published a big AI document. The Germans are way ahead in that too, in Audible. So I think as a group, the defense agencies globally have really said we're going to to do that. And I think that's one of the things that separates us maybe from the side that didn't do those things.
Understood. About 30 seconds left, Terry. How does one organization inside DoD know that they're getting their piece of it right?
I think a couple things. I think the way they're doing it, they're testing it small. So we're taking a look, and we work with them to say, okay, here's the things we wanted to get done. Did it add to the mission? Did we do it within cost? And did the data we come up there check out to be the right data to use?
Terry, it's great to see you as
always a
my
pleasure.
friend. Thank you very much.